Can you take an interesting heart article, okay, and you'll learn more about that in a minute, and turn it into an entire mini content empire? You're going to learn the answer to that question in just a moment. Episode 107 of the Content Profit Show. I'm your host, Jeff Herring, and we are broadcasting, as always, well, as usually, sometimes it's on the road, from our virtual studios here, 60 miles north of Atlanta, in the foothills of the North Georgia Mountains, which is a beautiful place to be. I'm actually 1 mile from a lake and about 15 minutes from the Appalachian Trail. So it is an okay place to be, folks. As always, I start this off by thanking everybody out there that watches, listens, whether live or on replay, because it's because of you that we're at 107. And it's because of you that we celebrated the anniversary of our first one this week. And it's because of you that we're over 100 episodes. So thank you. And if you want to be in the content profit seat, just like our guest is today, that link is right down below, jeffherring.com/profit. And we're making some changes to that in the next month or so. So if you want to get in, as is at no cost, okay, or as a bonus, that's the way to do it, okay? So I want to introduce to you Elizabeth Cottrell. She is the founder of Heartspoken.com, which is a cool name, and you're going to learn about that today. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Jeff. Been looking forward to this.
Me too. Me too. You got some great stuff, and I can't wait to dive into it. And speaking of which, let's do that now. And head over to your article. Oh, look at that. Through the magic of internet marketing, it's right there. Wow. It's almost like I prepared for these things.
Almost. You could have fooled me.
That's right. That's right. So you're all about, it's sort of counterculture in that this is offline stuff. This is personal handwritten notes. And it's just not, junior league thank you notes. It's loss notes and support. And it's also sales notes, because as I understand it, everybody's so focused online. When you send out as a salesperson a handwritten note, that makes a big impact, right?
It absolutely does. And what I like to tell people is, before you can ask for a date, before you can make a contact, before you can make a sale, you've got to connect. So
Yes.
It all starts with the need to connect. And I just find that handwritten, but heartspoken, it can be conveyed by text sometimes, or email, but heartspoken notes are a powerful tool.
You know what? I still have the piece of paper, and it wasn't even like a 8x11 or a card. It was just a little teeny scratch of paper. I used to work at a suicide hotline in Orlando in college, and worked a late night shift. And long story short, this one woman called in one night, and she was serious and had done everything necessary. And we ended up tricking her into giving us her address, and they got her and saved her life. But that thank you note is still in my stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have that as long as I'm on the planet. So yeah, it doesn't have to be something that serious. It can be thank you for lunch. But here's the 7 steps to a powerful note. I love this. Shortly after the event, yeah, not a year later, right? Get to the point, briefly cite the results of the person's actions, compliment the recipient without being cheesy, express a desire to continue the professional relationship, avoid qualifiers that weaken the letter. Yeah, I'm writing just, or I would like to, or one that bugs me, Elizabeth, and was people, and you get this a lot in email when they send you one. I wanted to drop in. It's like, no, it's not past tense. I want to drop in. Jeez. Okay. Express a desire to continue the professional relationship. Yeah. Avoid weakening things. Yeah. End the letter with another thank you. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Don't sell, promote yourself. Yeah. It whole defeats the whole purpose. Okay. So what we're going to do is take this these 7 things and turn it into something pretty big and cool for you.
Great.
So let me get out of there. We'll
So
go
one of the goals for me is to get people to overcome their lack of confidence. What I hear more than anything is I don't know what to say, and I feel like people, if they would follow my formula in my book, I feel like they would find their own voice. And so I hope that what I can do is to help people realize that it doesn't matter what they say; it's the fact that they cared enough to reach out.
that is so true, and I hear that a lot, in my own business about, creating content, but I don't know what to say. Well, speak from the heart and follow these templates, and there you go. So, this is what this is. So let's take a look here, and we
Cool.
start off with Elizabeth's new content empire, the heart spoken article, and we'll call it the 7 tips one, just for clarity for everybody. Now, for those of you watching or listening, whether live or on a replay, this is for you. Okay. There's a lot of niches out there. And I hear from people, well, but no one cares about my niche, or my niche is too small, or my niche is something along the line. They're basically saying my business is different. And my answer is, because do you sell to humans? Yeah. Well, then your business is the same. Even if you sell, to corporations, a corporation has never bought anything. A person inside that corporation has. And so that's why I love having you here, Elizabeth, because this is a rare and unique niche
It is.
that I really want to encourage people that, here's somebody that's done something rare and unique. You can too. All right. So first we got to get traffic to get people to all these cool things we're going to do. Email, webinars, newsletter, Medium, social, Substack, and more. Now, let's dive in here. And the way I've got it in the show notes is the first thing to create, the second thing to create, and the third thing to create. And again, like I said before, we can play with this as we go. So a small group mastermind, that's a title I coined for something I did probably the first month. Well, no, it was before I was even full-time, because I'm picturing being in a hotel I lived in when I was still living between Tallahassee and here. And I created a teleseminar. That's how long ago this is. Invited 5 people to get a website review. So we couldn't even see it together. They were looking at it on there, and I was looking at it on mine, and charged each $150. So 2 hours work helping people. I was up $750. I'm like, I like this. Maybe I'll do this internet thing. And the interesting thing, Elizabeth, is that several of those people not only joined other things from me, several of them are still there, are still with me. And so all it involves is inviting 5 people, giving them about 20 minutes of your focused time on something, okay, an outcome they can get right away. And the mastermind part of it is like you and I are doing this one-on-one, and the people out there can comment and stuff. In a mastermind, if I'm working with you and there's 4 other people there, then we're getting the input from the other folks too.
Sure.
And it's amazing, this from what you do. It's amazing where good ideas come from different industries. So my question for this one, out of those 7 tips we just looked at, Elizabeth, which one would lend itself, or maybe which couple would lend itself the best to delivering it in 20 minutes to help somebody get a result?
Probably something that would have to do with the actual wording, because that seems to be what trips people up, just to get them started. So
Okay.
I would envision maybe a mini workshop where I might create a template for them to follow, and then get them to put their own words in the blanks. Maybe. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And you spoke the word template about the same time I was thinking it,
Oh, cool.
because this lends itself so much to that. because it's so freeing for people. Um, if you can say, the way I describe it is, you remember Mad Libs, right?
Oh, sure.
You fill in the blank, come up with some crazy story. A template is simply Mad Libs with the intention of creating content. So if you can fill in the blanks like Mad Libs, you can do this. You can create one of these articles. One of these articles and one of these letters. So cool. Um, and the next part um, would be a 5-module course. Now I know there's 7 tips. Here's the reason I make it 5, because the more modules you create, the less people are going to buy and the less people are going to finish it because it feels overwhelming. So, got a couple of things to do here with your 7 tips. You could take two different tips and make it 1 tip and then do that again, and that would get it down to 5 modules. Okay. Or you could do 5 modules and then the bonuses would be tip 6 and tip 7.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea better.
Yeah.
Because then you're not having to recreate anything. It's just there. And, the only people that'll know that used to be part of it is you and I.
Mm-hmm.
You have a beginning module that's get started here, get them a quick result, a quick win. There's the next success steps module, which invites them to the next thing, which we're going to get at in a minute. And boom. And so if you were to do a video training on, say, the first one of the 7 tips, what's the bare minimum short that could be? How long?
For the whole session or for me to do a video to get it started?
Doesn't have to be the whole session, because you can also put in each module articles, transcripts, templates, checklists, that kind of thing. But yeah, at least to get it started, to give them an overview of where you're going.
Right. I can do anything, but I'm thinking 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. See, that's perfect right now, because the days of, um, you know, hour, 2 hour, 3 hour things being seen as more valuable
No,
are just over.
I agree. Less is better in terms of what I choose to consume. Less is better.
Simplicity is elegance, as they say. And I think that's for 2 reasons. One, people are busy, um, and don't want to give that much time to something. And 2, I think people have finally figured something out and I've been saying for years, that the value of a training, of a course, or of anything is not in the length. The value is in what's delivered. Okay. So you can get everything you need in 15 minutes. Great. Why spend, 2 hours, Um, so,
And may I interrupt you?
please,
Maybe you'd
please.
rather not do this in this session, but can you recommend a platform that's good for delivering courses?
Oh, I love that question. Because this is where a lot of people get hung up trying to decide what platform. And my suggestion is a little bit radical, because it's free and I make no commission on it. I'm teasing. Uh, WordPress site, okay? And every WordPress site is set up so you can do private pages,
Mhm.
okay? So what you would do is, one page would be all of the links, like a link to module 1, module 2, module 3, a link to bonuses, that kind of thing. And way back in the day, Alex Mondosian did this with Tell Us Some of Our Secrets. That was his front page. And then you do other pages, and you name them something that's not easy to guess, and then you make them protected pages on the side of, when you're about to post a page on WordPress. There's a place where you can make it private,
Yep.
and just use a code, and that way. See, what I like to have people do is start off at that level, and then as things grow and it's more, you're more in the place where you can have a monthly or one big yearly, investment, um, grow into that. But I hate seeing people. I mean, I know one person that years ago bought the thing that even if you're just starting out, you need to have a whole team.
Yeah.
And I think they're still paying that off.
Wow.
So yeah, that makes sense. The WordPress idea.
That totally makes sense. That's thank you. Simple is indeed better, and I've been using WordPress for years, so that works.
Excellent. So you're familiar with it. Cool, cool. And the cool thing is about 25% to 50% of the people that come in through this, and it's limited because it's 5 at a time, but you can do as many as you want.
Sure.
They'll move up to the 5 module course, and about a third to a half of these people will move up to your membership. Okay.
Any thoughts on what to charge for the course?
Yeah. Eventually, I would go at 197, but I'd start smaller
Mm-hmm.
to get buying behavior. And one of the things you can do, it's called the backstage pass strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, let's say you're going to sell it. You say something like, when all is said and done here, when we've built this, it'll go for between 97 and 197. To launch it, we're going to offer it for 97. However, for the first X people, 10, 25, 50, you can get a backstage pass, which means you're there live, and can ask questions and get them answered for the training for only 47 bucks.
Wow.
Okay?
Great idea. Great idea.
And that gets buying behavior. That the deadline or the limited number also gets buying behavior. And then the cool thing is, you're going to really like this. Think about it. Let's say let's just be conservative. You get 10 people at the $47 rate, okay? And you haven't even done the course yet, right? Basically, you're getting paid $470 to create a course you're going to charge $197 for. And I love that. I've gotten paid for every course I've created since probably 15 years.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful thing. The small group mastermind, like I mentioned, I did 150 back in the heyday. I don't even know if I could do that now for a website review, but same thing. Having consistency between these things, like people come in for 5 people times 47. Okay. And that makes the course make sense. Well, I paid 47 for this. I can do another 47. And then the really great thing about your material is that, even in your course, even in everything you have there's so much to know about this for each module. You haven't shared it all in the article. You don't share it all in the course. And so it lends itself to some kind of membership. Now, one way to do it would be 1 tip a month with a Q&A, two events a month. That probably would be tough in that people don't want to take 7 months to learn how to write a thank you letter. So, you could do them. You know what you could do? You could do monthly updates. And each month, I've never thought about this before. You could do a monthly update series where each month you touched on all 7. Okay. But maybe it's like, 2 minutes worth in that training, right? And then do a Q&A later on that month. And, that's going to show people this is good stuff, but we've just scratched the surface here. And that's going to keep them in the membership. And again, keeping the price consistent. One of the things you can say to people is, hey, you spent 47 bucks for the small group mastermind or 47 for the course. Now this is just $47 every month. You're used to paying 47. Let's do this together. Because what that gives you is 2 benefits. It's low service delivery on your part, Elizabeth, and it's high value, low consumption time on their end, because they don't got to spend weeks, going through 87 PDFs and 25 videos and all that kind of stuff. Make sense?
It does make sense, and my brain is swirling. I'm wondering also about, and this is taking a page from your book in terms of what you and I are doing right now. I could invite people to bring a letter to be rewritten or to be reworked, or
Oh, I love that.
could ask for, what's your biggest challenge? What's the biggest challenge you've had, and what?
Bring me your thank you letters. I like that.
But not just thank. I mean, I think it
Oh,
would have to go beyond. If it was a
yeah.
membership, it would have to go beyond thank you notes. But yeah,
Oh, yeah. Any kind of letter.
yeah.
Bring me your notes and letters, and we'll I'm sure it's good, and we'll make it even better.
There you go.
Awesome. So getting a little glimpse of the future here.
You bet. You bet.
I love it. Let's go back to us talking. Well, no, let's leave this up. Any questions before we?
No, just a great thank you to you for doing this. This is terrific, and I've been following you for years, and you just help a lot of people, and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. I'm honored, and definitely my pleasure. So, folks, I want you to listen to this again, with two questions in mind. How can I use what Elizabeth and Jeff just did today in my own business? And second question is, how can I get Jeff to do for me what I just did for Elizabeth? Link is right down there if you want to sit in Elizabeth's seat. I don't mean at your house, Elizabeth. You don't have to get ready for company. I mean the content profit seat, folks. So Elizabeth, I told you it'd be the fastest 20 minutes ever.
It was, and probably the most valuable I've spent in a long time.
Yay. And there's still more when we talk after. Thank you so much for bringing great content and being a great guest.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Folks, thank you for being here. A lot of places you could have been online. You chose to be with us, and we are always honored by that. And as always, until the next episode, go use this stuff.